And welcome to Crossroads Live on the road. Today we are in McKinney, Texas, and I'm sitting here with my friend Buck, the big man. How you doing, Buck?
Oh, I told you what, if I was any better, I'd have to be twins.
Really? Wow.
We are having a high old time up here. This is the second annual.
Second, yeah.
Thing.
Spirit of the Cowboy.
That's right. And we have got some fantastic guests lined up for today. We've got, Bobby Fuller will be with us. And,
we hope.
And Alex Cord. And who else have we got coming?
We got, I think, James Drury, the Virginian, is here.
Oh, boy.
And the gal that I always liked, Miss Roberta Shore.
Sweet Betsy from Pike.
That's it. And I'm telling you, can't wait to hear her react when I talk to her about Lee Jacob. One of my favorite actors, by the way. And I had a couple questions I have for Mr. Drury, and Bob Fuller will get to interview him again today, and it'll be great.
We hope so, and I'm not sure. I haven't seen her yet. I know she's scheduled. We may even be able to sneak Ann Lockhart in here.
Is she here?
I haven't seen her yet, but she's on the schedule.
All right, very good. And how about our musical guest? Tell us a little bit about
for music, we have got a real treat for y'all. We have the Wrangler Award-winning Oklahoma Music Hall of Fame member and the official balladeer of the state of Oklahoma, Mr. Les Gillum.
Wow. I'll tell you what, we had lunch with him yesterday.
Yes, unfortunately, we couldn't convince him to pay for it, but it was good food anyway.
All right. Anyway, so what I was going to say was that we had lunch with him, and I was really interested in when he had talked about when he was a little boy, and Gene Autry used to come to his house.
Yep, and Gene was his next-door neighbor, and we can get him to tell us all about that. He is a walking encyclopedia of Gene Autry trivia. He can tell you everything you never cared to know. Really? About the only man with 5 stars on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
My God. That was a lot of work. He did a lot of work to accomplish the 5 stars.
Yes, he did. And it's like Roy made kids and Gene made money.
I like that.
And that's why he was on the Forbes 400 list of richest Americans until the day he died.
My goodness gracious. And he had quite a career. But I always tell people I was more a fan of Champion. I love Champion. There's only about 5 or 6 of them, but I love them.
A whole mess of them.
Yeah.
That was the other big difference. It's like there were many champions, but there wasn't but one Trigger.
Yeah.
And Trigger was actually Roy's pet.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I once read somewhere or heard on an interview him saying that the only problem that he and Dale had, she had to share Trigger with Roy. So I don't know how true that is. It might have been his little joke, so I don't know. Yeah. But but before we get too far into everything, I wanted to congratulate you on your award that you won this year. Can you talk a little bit about that? Tell the folks about it.
Thank you. Shameless commercial plug. People ask how come the hat is so big. It's either wear one great big one or several little ones. One of the hats I wear is author, and my Western humor anthology, Tales from the B.O. Ranch, took the Will Rogers Silver Medallion for Western humor this year. And if I had thought of it, I would have brought the medal with me and show off.
Yeah.
But you can find out about that on my website, buckthebigman.com. It's also available on Amazon. And Les has got some great things out, and we'll let him tell you about them as well. We may rope Janet in here. She hadn't already escaped, and let her do her autobiography for you, too, also.
Someone told me, not to interrupt you, but someone had told me outside. They asked me, they said, have you read Janet's book?
Oh, it's fabulous.
I heard it was a wonderful book. and I'm going, wow. This is great, because I didn't even know she had a book out.
Oh, it's absolutely fascinating. I've known and worked with Janet for over 30 years. She has seen it all, done it all, been there, done that, lived to tell the tale, and is selling the T-shirt and the book.
And T-shirt and the book. Is it together or separate?
Well, we'll let her tell you about that.
Oh, okay. I just wondered. Just thought I'd ask. So, and how is your book doing? Is the book selling well?
And say it is doing very well. My largest crowd that shows up every time I go anywhere is the Invisible Man fan club. Invisible Man fan club. Yes. The Claude Rains impersonators.
Well, I did a movie with him in 1902, I think.
And say,
shot it by candlelight.
And say, yes, with a steam-powered camera.
Yes,
and
right.
That was the one with the score of the Unbegun Symphony.
Right, and it was the Invisible Man. There you go. I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to take a quick break, and we're going to come back, and we're going to have some guests. Buck will be visiting with them, and I'll be visiting with them, and we'll visit some of them together.
That's right. So y'all stay back, and we'll be tuned right.
There you go. Which way to go, Buck?
That way.
That way? Okay, we'll be back.
Howdy, folks. My name is Jim Hoffpower, but today I'm out here with Danny Boy, out here at the Crossroads Ranch. My request is this. Have you signed up to be an organ donor? And have you talked this over with your loved ones so that they know your desires? That is a gift that only you and God together can give to those in need. So, till we meet again, good luck, God bless, and we'll see you at the Crossroads. Let's go, Dan.
All right, and welcome back to Crossroads Live. I have the honor of sitting here with a longtime friend of mine, because you all know I lie. But
you have friends? Wow. Who
I have one.
Yeah,
It's Buck's his name. His name is Buck.
No. It looks when you look in the mirror. That's
listen to you. I'll tell you what. I heard a rumor that
you hear too? Wow.
Yes, with this here.
Oh, that,
This one don't work. Anyway, I heard a rumor that you got out a brand new book since I talked to you last.
When did you talk to me last?
January.
Well, we've had 3. Where you been?
Asleep.
Yeah, I figured. That's what age does to you.
Yeah, well, I'm old.
These long naps.
Yeah. But no, I heard, what's the name of the, give me the name of 3 books.
Okay, well, let's see. June the 18th, we released Haunted Falls.
One of those.
No, it's a historical fiction western and the sequel to The Nation.
Oh, I like that story.
1895 with the same protagonist, our erstwhile black U.S. Marshal, Bass Reeves.
I remember the story.
Right, but now we have spirits, Indian lore, sacred wolves.
I love it.
Good
stuff. Good stuff.
Buy it. Oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry. Buck, do we have crayons for him?
Well, what I want to know is, do you have to read it?
There are. Well, you can play with it.
Because,
of course, you're used to that.
Do you know I went to school in Louisiana?
No, Louisiana doesn't have schools.
They don't?
No.
What was I doing?
You don't really want to know.
Oh, okay. Well, I remember.
Yeah.
Well.
Okay, and then the other book we had was number 5 and number 4 of the Black Eagle Force
You went to
Shut
5
up,
and then you went to 4?
Well.
How about 4 then 5?
Okay, 4 then 5.
Okay.
You actually can count too. Wow.
Well, hey, I went to school in Louisiana.
And you didn't even have to take your shoes off. Oh, wait a minute, you're not wearing shoes.
But I graduated from Grapevine. So
Yeah,
does that Do I?
Well, no, you smoked a lot of it, but
No, I don't smoke. I don't drink.
Right.
I don't cuss. I don't go out with girls
you
that
don't
do.
lie either. Okay.
Yeah.
No, we came out with our fourth Black Eagle Force book called Black Eagle Force Blood. When did we come out with Blood Ivory? Damn, I know. Blood Ivory, and then the spinoff for Blood Ivory called Blood Brothers.
Oh,
Let me write that out for you.
see, BL.
Blood.
I got that far.
Got that part. Then we did the Haunted Falls, and we are about 1,000 words short of finishing our sixth Black Eagle Force. Black Eagle Force, the Fourth Reich.
My
We
goodness.
find some nasty Nazis.
Really?
Say that
Today?
real fast.
Today? In
Yeah.
this day and time?
Yeah, in South America.
That's
You
where
gotta
they've
buy the
been.
book to find out. I'm not going to tell you.
Oh, man. He knows I don't know how to read. Oh.
Well, we do have one picture.
Is it a buck?
No.
Oh.
No.
No.
If you want to know what it is, you got to buy the book.
Got to buy the book.
What'd I take you to raise?
Well, I heard you got a lot of money. I'm available for adoption.
No.
No.
Now we're scraping the bottom of the barrel.
Oh, my God. I'll tell you what. No, but what about movies? You got anything coming up?
Nope.
No movies.
Hadn't done a movie since Friday Night Lights.
Yeah.
They're hiring all the young and pretty guys like yourself.
That's why I'm sitting here with you. Anyway,
This man invented ugly. You know,
well, as my friend Buck
he fell
the
out
big
of the-
man
he fell out
said,
of the ugly tree and hit every limb. On the
you
way
know what
down.
Buck the big man
Yeah.
told my friend Miss Jackson here
Yeah.
last night? He said, I
What
was
did
so
Buck the
ugly.
big man tell your friend Miss Jackson?
He told her I was so ugly when I was a child, they put a pork chop bone around my neck so the dog would play with.
I
Yeah.
know. That's in
You
one
know
of our
that joke
books. Don't-
too,
don't
huh?
steal my book.
Yeah, well, no, that's in your book.
Yeah, it's in one of them.
One of them. Oh,
right.
man, I'm telling you what. I'll tell you what. Is one of those characters secretly you?
They're all secretly me. I'm an actor.
I know. But you can play all the parts.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Sure.
All right. I just wanted to check and double check.
No, I believe you.
Am I in the book somewhere?
No.
Oh, you
No,
wanted to.
Actually, we did have a hanging right at the very beginning. Yeah.
Wait a minute. I played that part once. Yeah, I did. It was a Clint Eastwood movie, and they hung me.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's what's wrong with
Yeah,
your neck.
right
I
there.
see.
Yeah. And anyway, I'll tell you what. I want to take this time to thank you for coming and
I
dropping
appreciate
by and telling us about your brand new book.
I enjoyed the singing and the big orange drink.
You did.
I did.
All right. But stick around. We'll have a Coca-Cola later.
Dr. Pepper.
Dr. Pepper.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're in Texas, son.
Well, I like RC Cola than a moon pie.
Well, you're old enough to remember them. That's a fact.
That's a fact, Jack. Well, I'll tell you what.
That and Mrs. Baird's bread. That's what I said. Mrs. Baird's bread.
Did you do that commercial?
I did.
You did? And all right. You always do the chili commercial. Go ahead and do it one more time for the folks.
So, neighbor, how long has it been since you had a big, thick, steaming bowl of Wolf Brand chili? Well, that's too long.
Right. All right. Cook it up.
I'm Colin Ray. Within the next 30 seconds, at least 3 children will be physically or sexually abused. We must stop this national tragedy that robs our children of their innocence, their dignity, and often their lives. If you or someone you know are being abused, call Child Help USA National Child Abuse Hotline at 1-800-4A-CHILD. Call is free and confidential 24 hours a day. 1-800-4A-CHILD. You can stop child abuse.
Welcome back to Crossroads Live. I'm sitting here visiting with Ken Farmer.
Lucky you.
And troublemaker extraordinaire.
Absolutely.
Raconteur.
Never saw trouble I couldn't get into.
Raconteur, racketeer, one of them things.
Easy for you to say.
And all-around good egg, even if he is slightly cracked. And
Well, actually, hard boiled.
that too.
Or maybe soft.
Well, so at least you aren't coddled.
Toodle?
Coddled.
Coddled. I've never been coddled.
Okay, this is, well, I can tell that, from them alligator boots you got on there. You bought them in the Cayman Islands?
No, they're Cayman. Crocodile.
Okay, it's a crocodigator. Look, I'm half Cajun. It looks like a gator to me.
Which half? I
I
don't want to go there.
I'll put it to you this way. That's how come most of the time I wear a belt and suspenders. I don't took a chance.
Well, never mind.
You have done some great writing workshops.
It's probably a matter of opinion, but yeah, we've held some of those, yeah.
Well, some better than mediocre writing workshops.
Okay, that's close.
And if folks out there are getting an idea and a hankering to become authors like we are,
what do you mean we, white man?
What do you mean we, paleface? Now don't get me started on this latest Lone Ranger debacle. So I'd like to see Johnny Depp eaten by some of them were-rabbits.
Yeah.
And if folks are getting hankering to start writing things, say, I know that you do the workshops from time to time, and we got a real big book signing event and speakers and such coming up here next May. So how about you told us about that?
All right, you just did.
Well, told us some more.
Okay. No, we're having a writers roundup in historic downtown Gainesville, Texas. And we're bringing in a whole bunch of authors and celebrities. So we're calling this Books and Celebs.
That will work.
So we're bringing in people like Alex Cord and Robert Fuller and Annie Lockhart and Barry Corbin and James Hampton and Burton Gilliam, if he ever decides to show up. And they're going to be signing autographs, and then we'll have a whole bunch of authors there with their books. And each author gets to donate a signed copy of their novel to the Cook County Public Library. And any proceeds that we have from the funds generated by the workshop will be donated to the Frank Bring 'Em Back Alive Buck Zoo.
It's a most worthwhile effort, and we'll also have framed prints of Ken Farmer there, suitable for framing or wrapping fish.
Or hanging.
Now, you better be careful there. It's like, you remember back when Gunsmoke was on the radio, when Doc got himself in trouble?
No.
And say, well,
I remember that.
True story.
Cannon was.
Yes, he was
Dillon.
Marshall Dillon.
Yes, he was.
And say, true story. And say,
he was built kind of like you are.
Say, I hope not. Well, back in those days, he was considerably less round.
Oh yes.
So.
But not any taller.
This is true. And Doc one time was talking to the fellow that was the traveling hangman that serviced most of that part of Kansas. And he was saying, I knew this was one of yours on account of when I got him, he was so well hung. And they got over 4,000 letters that next week.
Why?
True story.
Okay.
And we are looking forward to that. Incidentally, one of the illustrious individuals you will find at this upcoming event in beautimous Gainesville, Texas, is yours truly. I will have a copy
Only because we invited him.
Yes.
I haven't figured out why yet.
Because you need the extra $50. That's why. And you can pick up a copy of my award-winning Western humor anthology, Tales from the B.O. Ranch.
You write humor?
And say, oh, yes. So what's your next book going to be out?
The next one will be Black Eagle Force Fourth Reich. We're almost finished with that, and it should be out in time for the Christmas rush.
This is where you find out you have relatives living in Irving, Berlin.
Or Irving, Bolivia.
Or something like that. And it is a neat thing. Now tell me about your publishing house.
The publishing house, yes. Well, my writing partner Buck Steinke, whom you will get to meet shortly, So that would be the Buck and Buck Show. Say that 10 times real fast. Anyway, we had had our original book published by a company, and said, after fighting with the editors, and it took them a year to publish our book, we said,
Been
"This
there,
sucks."
done that.
And so we, having already produced a motion picture, that's film, we said, why not? So we started a publishing company called Timber Creek Press, and we have since published 9 novels, including the latest by Alex Cord, and including one by a British author by the name of Josephine Bailey called Hoti. It's about a donkey.
And is that the one that's
Hoti.
I think also the sequel is going to be Toity.
No, it may be Sanchez.
Ah. Well, not a Dirty Sanchez,
No.
I hope so. Okay.
No.
Or Filthy Rodriguez or
Right.
any of those guys. Yeah, and so, by the way, if you have sufficiently deep pockets, they're probably reviewing manuscripts. So just because he's such a smart aleck, go ahead and flood this guy's mailbox with unsolicited manuscripts and call him sometime between the hours of midnight and 6 a.m. Yeah, remember, we're doing this in post-production, and I have your phone number.
Yeah, thank you very much. I just changed it.
And are you working on any new things now?
No, we're finishing up that last book. That's kind of taken that, and we are previewing some other manuscripts, as you say, that we are seeing if they fit within our niche. Or is it niche?
Or quiche or
niche
something.
nephew. I don't know.
And say, what? Now you're talking about now the old Aggie joke about the brother, that names the twins. He names the girl Denise. You named the boy
The
nephew.
nephew, yes, I know. Don't quit your day job. That's part of Buck Helton's humor?
And say a little bit.
Okay, that's what I was afraid of.
Very little. Say, of course, this from a man who has a bumper sticker that says "Honk if I'm an Aggie."
Now, how do you spell that?
E-I-E-I-O. That's how you
Okay.
spell farm.
Yeah, you don't spell very well either.
And so, well, you should talk. I heard about one of your ancestors who on December 7th, 1941, bombed Pearl Bailey. And on that note, I think it's about
I
time.
was 6 months old.
I think it's about time for us to sneak off and pay the bills. And we'll be right back.
20 years, I've been interviewing the cowboy stars of film and television. Now I'd like to share what I've learned with you, not just the easily researched information, but the true stories behind the films and the stars. My audiobook, Golden Nuggets Along the Old Hollywood Trail, lets you in on little-known facts, trivia, and stories of the Western stars and films from the beginning to today. If you're a fan of the Western genre, I'd love to share my stories with you, and here's how.
Welcome back to Crossroads Live. We're here with Buck Steinke, so I guess this particular little portion would be the Buck and Buck Show, but we're not going to try and say that real fast because we sound like we're subbing for Colonel Sanders. Okay. And so we have had your cohort on here. We talked a little bit about Timber Creek Press and some of the great westerns and historical fiction that y'all are doing. And I understand that y'all have also gone Hollyweird on us and gotten the movie business. And I was privileged to be at the premiere of this particular piece. And why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Rockabilly Baby is a film we did with several local Dallas actors that Ken had trained many of them. Of course, we've got Jody Moore, Denton Everett, Randy Price, and Todd Farr was in it. And it's set back in the 1950s. Rockabilly music, the dawn of rock and roll, with a young man that looks a lot like Elvis and sings like Elvis, but plays the piano like Jerry Lee Lewis. So it's a great combination. A lot of fun, a lot of excitement, original music. We're just getting the film out on Amazon, like pay-per-view or video on demand, coming up quickly.
That will work, and say I won't spoil it for you, but I will tell you that Jody Moore as the desk clerk in a hotel has got the best line in the entire film, and you really need to see it. If nothing else, just for the perfect expression on his face as he delivers it.
He's an outstanding actor and a good friend.
So tell me, do you have any more film projects in the works?
Personally, I just finished a film called Blood and Brine with Film 5 Entertainment out of Dallas. Should be released at I think, about March. The Angelica is going to be the premiere for it. I play a crusty old patriarch of a barbecue dynasty who doesn't quite get along with my son. I can't.
So you're a seasoned performer, old and salty.
Absolutely. My character is Henry Parker, and Henry does not want to change anything. And he's got a couple of great lines in there, and he goes, "Everybody in Texas knows you got great barbecue. You don't need no sauce." And my son disagrees, and the first time we go on live TV, he puts a barbecue sauce all over our meat, and we have a little bit of a disagreement right there on camera.
So he dry rubbed you the wrong way.
Absolutely. So
Okay.
it's a nice little film. I think it's basically a teaser for a motion picture. It's going to be a 20-minute short, and we'll see if we can't get some funding for it and get a feature film out.
So basically, it's a meaty subject whose bark is worse than its bite.
Absolutely. I actually brought some of my own barbecue seasonings with it, and I'm kind of a perfectionist when it comes to film. These guys had some cooked briskets, but they were showing us getting everything ready and putting it on the grill and putting the cooked brisket on the grill. I said, no. I bought my raw brisket in, and I rubbed it like I loved it with salt and pepper.
That's you had to show it to love.
That's right, and got to put it on there raw and take it off.
Yes.
So.
And then take it down. That's like I always get tickled at we call them continuity errors.
Absolutely.
In things like, I remember there was one soap opera, of course we won't mention the name because of fear of lawsuits, but one actress was pregnant for 9 seasons and then gave birth to a premature baby.
There you go.
Okay. Strange how these things works. Okay. I think it was something along the lines of The Young and the Rest of Us.
If you say so, I'll take your word for that.
Well, tell me something here. It's like we're up here at the Spirit of the Cowboy, and we've got all these great cowboy movie stars and cowboy TV stars. James Drury, the Virginian, and all all these neat fellows, and Western experts like Charlie LeSoir. And I'm just wondering, despite what Disney would have you think with a $250 million budget for the world's biggest turkey, westerns, the good old-fashioned kind of westerns, are not expensive to make.
No, you can make a great western for $25 million these days. They're a lot more expensive than certain types of films that, because of the
well, you're not going to make one on the budget of the Blair Witch Project.
No, but like the film Kevin Costner did a couple of years back.
You mean that gay western, Dances with Men?
No.
The other one. Okay.
He and Bobby Duvall's.
Oh yes.
Now, they had to build a western town, but it's out in the Canadian province. It's out there, and it's going to require some time and effort and money and. Having wranglers, having horses, having
it's true.
Stunt doubles and all that stuff. It's a little bit more expensive than doing a bar scene and inside an existing building, but it can certainly be doable. And we've written a couple books that we think would make some great westerns.
And so, well, I tell you what I would, I'm going to throw down the gauntlet here. Say, y'all have already got your feet wet in the movie business. We have plenty of locations here in Texas that have western, and you probably already know most of them, that have western towns built on them.
Right.
So God knows we have enough friends who are reenactors, and you think you're picky about barbecue. These boys actually get them old balloon head shells just to make sure that it's authentic, even though no one will ever see it.
Right.
And we need to make a singing cowboy movie, just to show that A, it can still be done, and B, there is a market for it.
Well, Well, it can. Actually, I'm a singer-songwriter myself. I've written a few songs. Rockabilly's got 4 of my songs in it. I can do country. I do. That's actually one of my favorite genres. I like ballads, but there is room for a lot of different films and out there for different different audiences. And I think the older audiences, people of me and my age that were, children of the 50s and 60s that grew up watching Wagon Train. There's a place for good quality westerns that.
Yes, indeed there is, and you're going to see one coming to a television near you in the near future. We got to sneak off and pay some bills. We'll be right back.
And your name, sir, is?
Hang on, let me check.
Ken
Farmer.
Ken Farmer.
Like Ken and Barbie, I don't care.
Ken and Barbie. Oh, you were the one that did the dial a lot, right? And so,
The what?
The dial.
Dolls?
Yeah,
No.
the Barbie doll.
I've been known to do a doll or two, but not that one.
Oh, okay. All right. We are honored, Pam and I are honored to be sitting here with Ken.
I'm innocent over all of this.
We know better.
We know better. Anyway, welcome back.
Make them believe it.
Right.
Ken has an exciting career. I mean, he's an actor,
So far.
Yeah.
screenwriter.
Yes.
He's a director,
Yes.
drama teacher,
Yes.
which I'm sending you over to him to
I
learn to act.
know, okay.
And anyway,
Sign
how
up.
did you get started in this business, sir?
Magic.
Magic.
No, actually, I got talked into doing a Dairy Queen commercial
Right.
back in.
Yeah.
And I said, they're going to pay me this kind of money to sit on a horse and eat a hamburger. I can do this.
Yes. Yeah.
And that was 260 odd commercials ago,
Yeah.
and 50 some odd TV shows, and about 15 movies, and God only knows what else.
Yeah. Well, and I remind you because, when you talk about your first commercial, because my first commercial was a Ford pickup truck. And I was the hooker. No.
I didn't want to say anything.
Well, they wouldn't let me drive the truck.
Oh, yeah. Well, I got to drive one or two. I did a Goodyear commercial one time out in California that they ran during the Super Bowl and all the NBA games and all that stuff, just driving and driving and driving
Yeah.
for miles and miles and miles, and finally left the gate to my own ranch.
Wow.
And I just going across the street to a party.
Oh my God. And the tires kept rolling,
Yeah,
right?
tires kept rolling.
Yeah.
You bet.
So,
Yeah.
have you been?
Yes,
'Cause
I have.
you have been, yes. And have you been doing screenwriting for a long time?
Oh, 25 years. Started doing doctoring.
I got you. Yeah.
Who wrote this crap? Okay, all right, I gotta fix it.
Yeah.
So then wrote and directed this. I
Okay.
adapted a Leslie Jordan stage play. Leslie's a good friend of mine, the Emmy winner. And I asked him, I said, Leslie, do you mind if I turn your stage play into a screenplay? He said, why sure, Kenny, go right ahead. So I did. And we shot this a couple of years ago up in Gainesville. It's a treatise on the birth of rock and roll in the 50s, fictionalized with all original music.
Ooh, that sounds great.
And
you want to tell them the title?
Rockabilly Baby.
Rockabilly Baby.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, all of the 3 leads I trained. And the lead here, Denton Blaine Everett, wrote and sang his own songs.
Is that a fact? And it all had that rockabilly sound to it?
And Dave Alexander, who
Yes.
you're going to be interviewing if you haven't already,
Not yet.
provided the music
Wonderful.
in his studio. So he did the backup and so on. But Denton could not play, but he could sing, so he would fake play. We used a hand double. And Dave came in to when we were shooting the performance scenes, and he saw Denton up on the stage doing this. And of course, they were playing the background. He said, I thought he couldn't play. I said, he can't, not at all. I said, but he watched the piano player, and he knew where his hands would be.
Very good. Very
So,
talented.
Very, very talented
Yeah, very
young man. Very
talented,
talented
yeah.
young man.
So-
I did not have to direct 1 second. I just turned them loose and do your thing, boys.
When you're teaching, because I was taught in the teaching and acting class once, and I don't know if you found this out, but with me, I found out that everybody wanted to be stars. They didn't want to be actors. You know what I mean? They didn't really want to learn the craft of acting. They wanted to already be a star.
Those that come to me with that attitude usually don't last too long. I'm sort of a cross between a drill instructor and a football coach. And if you can handle my class, then business is no problem.
There you go. See, I found out with it as far as acting and going to auditions and stuff, the biggest job is getting the job.
No.
No?
No. The biggest job is being prepared for both. I can't tell you how many times I've had to go in and replace someone because they were very good at auditioning, but they sucked on set. So they come, Kenny, would you come in and replace this? And I'd walk on set at 7:30 in the morning. They'd hand me a script, and they say, "How long you need?" And I said, "Give me 30 minutes."
Okay.
I did that on Dallas. I did that on Austin Stories. I did it on a Walker episode.
Well, see, because what I have found is a lot of people, they come in, they can't read. I did an audition one time with a guy who could not read. He couldn't put 2 words together, but they cast him because he looked like Charles Bronson.
We spend hours.
He was Charles Bronson.
He was Charles Bronson.
Oh, he was, yeah. He just growled a lot. We spend a lot of time in class on teaching our kiddos how to read. I said, all right, when you read a set of sides, pretend you're reading aloud to a 5-year-old. If you don't create a visual image, the audience will not see it because you don't see it. See, the camera will always see thought.
Yeah, we'll read you.
And you must see, if you are reciting. Ronnie Howard told me one time, he said, Kenny, when I cast, I don't look for someone to recite dialogue. I look for someone who could bring something to the character I didn't think about. I look for creativity. That's why we're called creative artists, not analytical artists, not interpretive artists, not reciting artists, but creative artists. Hello? You spell that one, okay?
Yeah.
So that's what we spend a lot of time. I teach organic acting.
And if somebody wanted to take your class, how would they get in contact with you for that?
Send up smoke signals?
Yeah.
No.
You have a website
I
that
do.
they can go to
I've got several websites, but they very easily, rather than rattle off a website which nobody's going to remember, all that www.com.
Right.
Just tell them to email PAGACT, @yahoo.com.
There you go.
There you go.
That's Professional Actor Group Act
There.
at yahoo.com. So we teach once a week and then do a monthly workshop.
And that's the Dallas-Fort Worth area
Yes.
for those that are
Right.
viewing your
Yeah.
audience.
That's in between all the writing and all the other stuff
That you do.
we do, right?
All right. Well, listen, I want to thank you for taking this time out. We're going to talk to your writing partner here in a little bit.
I have a writing partner?
Well, he told me he
Oh,
was,
wow,
and
cool.
unless he lied his way in here. Well, why don't we let him introduce himself? How you doing, man?
Hi, I'm Buck Steinke.
Thank you. Now, what may I ask? What kind of name is that? What nationality is that?
Well, that last name is German. My actual first name was Harold, but I never liked that name a lot, so my dad used to call me Buckskin growing up in Houston,
all
Texas.
Oh,
And we just shortened that to Buck.
Yeah.
I like that.
Now that sounds like a name of somebody must have grew up on a ranch.
Well, not exactly, but I did live across a ranch. I got a degree in farm and ranch management. I've bred cattle,
Yeah.
roped and ridden, and all that kind of stuff.
Are you from Texas? Is this?
I am from Texas, originally born in Houston.
Wow.
Grew up in the Austin area, and my ranch was up in Montague County, up along the Red River.
Wonderful,
That's wonderful.
Let's talk about your writing.
All right.
Tell us about.
Okay, what we got today is a couple books. Our first novel that was released, the actual release date is coming up next month, just before Valentine's Day. Black Eagle Force, Eye of the Storm. Ken and I co-wrote on that. The second in the series of novels is called Black Eagle Force, Sacred Mountain. And both of these start off in Texas. The first one in 1810, down along the Rio Grande River, on a 3,000-acre ranch called Eagle Nest that was settled by some German immigrants who bought the land from a Spanish land grant owner. And it involves the Mexican army moving across the Rio Grande en route to the Alamo in 1836. And little shoot 'em up, bang, bang goes on there with a...
Wow. This is real history.
It goes in from that history through the week right up before the Alamo, and then jumps into the present day with the descendants of the sole survivor of the massacre.
How interesting.
So,
And what got you interested to write that?
as it started out, Ken and I were contacted by John Eastman, a writer of some note who had a 900-page novel. He wanted us to come up with a screenplay for that novel. So it's a matter of condensing 900 pages, which is must be around 300,000 words. It's a massive novel, down to something in the neighborhood of 120 pages with a lot of blank spaces in it. So you get rid of 90% of the words, because movies are a visual medium.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
You understand? So you have to, you show a guy on a horse instead of talking for 2 minutes about or writing for 2 minutes, tell him what he looks like, what's a horse look like, where they are, and all that stuff. Just showing it instantaneously. So after completing that project, about 6 weeks, we got some good words of encouragement from a former Disney script supervisor, and we said, you know what, I bet we could write a novel. So we came up with an idea, and we just got started on it. It's a little unusual for people to start the first novel with 2 people writing it, but we've been working together on a lot of screenplays and teleplays, and we write well together. Sometimes we'll finish each other's sentences. One of us will look over the other one's shoulder, and we'll just...
So you're actually sitting down, writing together?
We do sometimes. Most of the time I'm a late night person, and Kim writes at home and I write at home, and we will email our stuff back and forth, and we'll get together at the office, and we'll collate and merge the 2 stories together, and we'll talk to each other at the office, and we'll say, look, I'm going to start writing about the great battle over at Nuevo Laredo, and I'll start working on that. He'll maybe be working on something in Washington, D.C., or in Malibu, or someplace that's outside there. And we put the 2 of them together, because the magic of computers and electronics, you can stick that stuff together in a heartbeat.
So y'all are usually on the same page together?
Quite a bit. I'm very often, like I said, we can complete each other's sentences. Our styles are very compatible.
Okay, that's good.
We will proofread and polish each other's work sometimes, just changing a word here and there, just because we find, well, we used that word 16 paragraphs ago, let's not use it again, and that adjective, we'll find up something that's a homonym for it, and just come up with something else. So we do that, and we very seldom get into an argument over content.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, say, no, I don't want that to happen. I said, oh, it's got to happen, back and forth, and we'll have a little discussion back and forth. But it's, we work well together as a team. That's why we're on our 4th novel together.
How long did it take you to complete this project?
That one was about 3 months. I guess.
3 months?
Wow, that's pretty fast.
I can crank out as many as 10,000 words a day if I could just type a little faster. I read those commercials you see on TV where the people talk to the computer.
Sound like my typing and writing.
Ken's a much faster typer.
Well, I even see that on this back of the book, you've even let Ken Farmer put his picture.
I did. Like I said, we're co-authors of that. We share in the good, the bad, and the different of it.
I'm making a joke about Ken.
Oh, absolutely. We have a lot of fun. We've had excellent responses from actual operators, people that are Marine snipers, both in Vietnam and later, and with guys that are colonels in the Marine Corps today, and people that are were Army Rangers.
Yeah.
Guys that actually get out there and do this. But Ken and I are both military. He's Marine Corps, and I'm Air Force, and I've got expertise in aviation, and he was a Marine helicopter pilot.
Yeah.
So we both have strengths that we bring to the table that can help tell a story. That's all it's about.
Yeah.
We have to create characters that people want to listen to, and people want to read about, and they want to find out what happens to them and their families.
Right.
Who's the main character in this?
The main character is a gentleman named Mike Herman. We've got another guy named Archimedes, everyone calls him Dare Phillips. He's a colonel, and it so happens that the two of them were in the Marine Corps at the same time. Dare Phillips got shot down in Iraq, and his life was saved by Mike Herman. He got shot in the leg during the process of it, so they became fast friends, but for reasons that you can read about, Mike decided to leave the Marine Corps and ends up down back on his family ranch on the border, and a little border war breaks out between some gang members and people that are involved in the human trafficking down along the border, and some rogue elements of the Mexican army end up coming on the ranch, and that starts a big battle, and everybody gets involved. But the Black Eagle Force itself is a group of former military people that are working for the United States government, the Department of Defense under contract. They're ultra black ops, highly qualified, specialized people using specialized equipment, state-of-the-art things that can fight evil wherever it exists, even in the United States. So they can get around the Posse Comitatus Act as it was in effect for many years. So
that's kind of like a Navy SEAL group.
Like a Navy SEAL group, except these guys have their own little Air Force. They've got their, they can go in on land. They can parachute in. They can fly in with their little M600As. They have their own airborne battleship that flies around. Actually, these are smaller aircraft, have the wings that fold up, and they go out on the tail or out on the ramp of the C-5M Mama Bird, and take off and go out and fly their missions, come back and recover. So. Wow,
almost like a Texas Star Wars.
It is. It's like I said, people really enjoy the stories. They say they're page turners.
Wow, so, that could be, I mean, I would love to see the movie of this, or even a television series.
That would make a good series.
I think this would be a great television series.
I thank you. But we've got the screenplay already written for the first novel, and we're working on, novel 4. Number 3 is ready for production right now. It's called Return of the Starfighters, and it's going to be printed shortly. So
is this something y'all might do independently, or maybe try to get a studio in?
Oh, we'd love to get a studio involved on it, because it's going to take probably $25 million to do.
At least.
It's something that it's above and beyond most indie filmmakers' capability.
Well, they're telling me it's time to say goodnight. But no, I was just going to say thank you so much for being with us. With us.
It's a pleasure to meet you guys, and I hope you guys have a wonderful.
It's my pleasure, and everybody out there, go pick up these. And where can you pick up these books?
Tate Publications has them starting next month. You'll be able to pick those up from your local bookstores and from Amazon.com. The title is called Black Eagle Force: Eye of the Storm.
All right. All right, welcome back to Crossroads Live. I am with some real soldiers. Wow, I can't believe it. The real Army, right?
That's right.
All right, what's your name?
I'm Sergeant First Class Troy Gorman.
And your name?
Captain Randall Davis.
All right, how long have y'all been in the Army?
I've got 25 years total time in service. I got a break in service and done some reserve time.
And how long have you been in?
15 years, sir.
I'd just like to say thank you for your service.
You're welcome.
Because
you
it's you guys, man, are doing a great job. And I want to take time for us to thank those guys over there in that foreign country who are fighting over there so we don't have to fight here.
Yes, sir.
Exactly.
You know. And were y'all the guys on the horses a while ago doing the shooting at the balloons and things?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Was that?
Yep.
We got that on tape.
Do you?
All right, we're going to be showing it. Now, what part do you play in all this?
I'm the detachment commander, sir.
You are?
Yes, sir.
Wow. I like Debbie. Now, I'm going to try to be funny. I like the sir thing. Because I was in the military, and no one ever called me sir when I was in the military. Because I was an airman in the Navy.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, I was an airman. I know, you're laughing at me, you know. But now tell us your rank.
I'm a captain.
Captain, and you are
I'm a Sergeant First Class, but I'm in the First Sergeant position.
okay. Wow. A lot of responsibility comes with this.
Oh, yeah.
Roger that,
Yeah,
sir.
and so y'all's job is just like training, like they did in the old West, in the forts. And where y'all stationed?
Fort Hood, Texas, sir.
Fort Hood, Texas. Hot place, I hear.
It gets hot.
It gets hot.
A little drought going around.
And so, how many hours a day do y'all train with those horses?
Anywhere from
We
8
train
to 12 hours a day.
8 to 12 hours a day.
Yes, sir.
Wow.
So
Not all of that's riding though. We normally try to ride between an hour and a half, 2 hours a day,
right.
and then the rest of it's pretty much take
Groundwork,
care of the animals and
training
groundwork.
with the horses and everything. Well-trained animals.
Yes.
Yeah. Wow. I'm very impressed because I have 2 horses right now who aren't that well trained, who have the minds of their own, and they're fun. I mean, they're my pets. And but they're not trained. I used them both in a movie. I did a little movie, both in a movie, and hams. They were getting fan letters. There you go. So, but anyway, so where's home for you?
I was born and raised in East Central Indiana. Right now I live in Copper's Cove, which is a little town west of Fort Hood. Been living there about 6 years.
And where's your home?
I was born and raised in Southeast Indiana,
So,
and I claim Harker Heights, Texas.
so
as
if
mine.
I say the name James Dean, you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yes, sir.
Oh yeah, everybody knows James. He's from Indiana, Fairmont, Indiana. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And
Yep.
y'all know where it's located?
Yeah, I've been through there.
Well, I just saw a documentary on his life. That's why I'm sort of up on it right now.
Okay.
And but anyway, so why the Army? I asked that because maybe a lot of people are looking for this for a career.
Well, 25 years ago when I graduated high school, I was looking for a career, and the Army was what's happening.
Well,
So
that's what was available for you at
yeah.
the time, you know.
Yeah.
And of course, in the Army, a lot of people don't think about it. You can get an education.
Right. I come in as a mechanic, and I've been a mechanic ever since, and I've got most of my training from the Army.
And you?
My reasons for coming in?
Right.
Back in 1992, the Gulf War just ended.
Right.
And I felt a calling to serve my country. So I was 21 at the time. I felt like I didn't have any sense of direction, so I thought I needed some discipline.
And the
so,
Army gave you that sense of direction.
Oh, yes, sir.
Yeah, wow, that's great. I'll tell you, one of my biggest regrets, I didn't stay in the Navy. I really enjoyed the Navy. I liked my 4 years that I spent, but I had so many other things that was going on. I was trying for a writing career, and how did I wind up doing this? But anyway, a writing, acting career, and that's what I wanted to do, and that's what I've done with my life, you know. But I love being in the Navy. I love being part of that, and being in the military. And I want to tell you guys, I think y'all serve our country well.
Thank you.
And what you're doing is great. And great promotions for the Army.
That's right.
Doing
Yes,
this. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for taking the time to spend time with me.
Thanks for supporting
All
us.
right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
All right.
We're now watching Close Order Drill, demonstrating a part of the School for Soldier Mounted taken from the Cavalry Manual entitled Cavalry Drill and Tactics, dated 1874. During the demonstration, Captain Davis will lead the demonstration team through various drill movements. The drill movements will be conducted at a walk, trot, and gallop, and negotiated in columns of 2s and 4s. The first drill movement by 2s from the right, left, and right will bring the troopers into columns of 2s.
Tell me why you're dressed in the olden days Army. Okay, so why did you get into this? Why do you? I'll ask a lot of questions. So I'll start with, why did you get into this?
To this particular detachment?
Or why do you do this? I mean, why are you dressed like this? Why do you guys
You
do
wanna take this
what
one?
you do?
Yeah, go ahead.
All of our soldiers, we have about 31 soldiers in our unit right now, represent all of the brigades within the 1st Cavalry Division. Each brigade has a slot that they're obligated to fill at the horse detachment. And our duties is to help Fort Hood and the 1st Cavalry Division in recruiting efforts and preserve and maintain the tradition as cavalry of the late 1800s. And that's why we're dressed like we are today.
And how did you get into this?
Every
It's an
soldier.
all-volunteer unit.
So you say, and so what made you personally? So I like to ride horses. I'm going to do this.
For me, as the only officer in the unit, I was just getting ready to come back from Iraq the second time, and the job it became available. The commander's job. They were bringing the unit back They were bringing it back together. They were reactivating the unit, and they were lacking a commander. I just so happened to know a couple folks and express interest in the job. And next thing you know, I'm out there falling off horses and being trained by great NCOs such as Sergeant Gorman.
He was selected over a number of officers from throughout the division, and the division commander selected him as being, which says quite a bit for Captain Davison himself.
How long has the Army been doing this?
35 years.
35 years.
Well, not the Army. The 1st Cavalry Division has had this unit since 1972.
Yes.
And did they just decide? Do you know the history of it? I mean, did they just say?
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Hey, let's do it.
Okay. Well,
Oh.
the evolution of the Horse Cavalry Detachment started back in 1972 with a young gentleman named First Lieutenant Dack, who wanted to start a color guard. He went before the division commander and requested that we stand up a mounted color guard. He received approval. At that point in time, the horses that they had gotten, the original 18 horses, were donated by different units and individuals from within the division or outside of the division, from the local communities. Once they had gotten to that point, it just kind of started to evolve throughout the years up until this point, from a mounted color guard to a six-man. It was a six-man demonstration team, and then we just kept building upon that throughout the years. The original name of this unit used to be the Horse Platoon, and we had since changed it to the Horse Cavalry Detachment to conform to its heritage and preserve the traditions that are really sacred to our division.
I just didn't know you guys do this.
A lot of people don't know that we do this. We are probably the best kept secret in the United States Army, and kind of leading into other things that we're doing now is, like First Sergeant Gorman just stated, is that our mission is to support our division, our corps, and the surrounding communities by participating in parade ceremonies and demonstrations. The second part of our mission is to assist the Army collectively in its public relations and recruitment efforts. And here in the last 6 to 8 months, we've really started to work with the United States Army Recruiting Command, and they've been funding us to go out to different places within the United States and go into high schools and talk to high school kids about what we do and about and show them what the Army is about, because our unit is MOS immaterial, which means that we have a variety of guys and jobs that they have, in the regular Army. We have infantrymen, we have mechanics, I'm a transportation officer, we have medics, we have tankers,
artillery.
We have scouts. And so these guys, being just a little bit older than a high school individual or junior or senior, can go into these high schools and talk about the various aspects of the Army and get down to their level because they're closer to their age as opposed to a recruiter who's usually a little bit upward in age, late 20s, early 30s. So that's what we're starting to kind of get into now.
That's wonderful. So have you guys ever fell off a horse? Fallen off a horse?
I'm not going to comment on that.
Not lately.
Let's just say falling off one going at about 35 miles an hour doesn't feel too good.
That's part of the learning process, and we all go through.
Well, thank you for letting me ask these questions. I was just dying. I was listening to him talking.
Yeah.
I thought, I have all these questions. And thank you so much for being out here.
Yes,
I look
ma'am.
forward to seeing you again sometime. And go
Give our website.
Oh, the website, yes.
I don't know it.
If you go to Google and just type in Fort Hood, it'll bring up the Fort Hood website, and right along the left-hand side it'll have all the listings of all the units, and the Horse Cavalry Detachment will be right there. Just click on it. It's a brand new website. It's got all the history and characteristics and capabilities of what we do, where we've been. There's a ton of photos in there. It's just a wealth of information for anybody that's interested in our unit, whether it be just to gain information or to request us to come to a show in their town.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
The trooper's favorite weapon due to its 6-shot capability. The fast parade led today by trooper turn time, followed by trooper Carver and First Sergeant Gorman. 1870 was the Cowboy against the Chaos of Life. By the Cowboy. The pull this slow, the arm needed to strong with the South man. The arm mule. The 70s. The wagon pulled by 4-4.
So, till we meet again, good luck, God bless, and we'll see you at the Crossroads. Let's go, Dan.